Hello, class. My name is Dr. Hello, class. My name is Dr. Jennifer Wolf, and I'll be your instructor for EDUC 5470 Research in Education this term. Congratulations to making it to your capstone section. And just going to let you know, I have four cats, and sometimes they like to make cameo appearances. Ouch. And sometimes they like to help me make videos. So if I seem distracted, that's why. And yes, I've got one of them here biting the cord. I'm trying to keep him from doing that. So anyway, if you have pets or children, you know how that can go. Anyway, I have been teaching at UoPeople for just over 4 years now, and am so happy to be a part of this mission, to be involved with a global population of learners. It's been one of the greatest honors of my life up to this point, to be allowed to help further the education of you who come here seeking more education and to become more effective educators wherever you are. So hats off to you, particularly if English is not your first language. I really want to applaud you for being able to communicate, writing, verbally, listening at the master's academic level. Now, if you have gotten this far and you're shaky on grammar, I highly recommend you spend time in the Learning Resource Center learning correct English. I'm going to tell you that I will not pass papers that don't make sense in English. English is the language of publication, unless you're publishing just in one country, say China. It's not going outside of China. Yeah, you're gonna write in Chinese. But international publications are written in English. So if your English is not that great, but you've kind of skated by this far, I'm going to help you. And I understand translation challenges, so I'm not going to fail a paper because you use the wrong verb, but I'm not going to pass a paper that just doesn't make sense. And I get them every term where I can tell somebody's using translation software or I don't know what, but it doesn't make sense. And I want to pause here. Yes, I have a Band-Aid on my forehead. I had a little spot removed, and I decided if I'm going to have to wear a Band-Aid where everybody can see it, I'm going to rock my Band-Aids, right? So anyway, but I do want to applaud you for getting this far. And please know that my entire existence at UoPeople is to help you conduct, design, analyze a valid research study that adds to the body of knowledge. Now, I produced a dissertation, 202 pages. That's not what I'm looking for from you. I'm looking for you to do your background. So everything you do in 5470 is about background knowledge. How are you going to get started? What do you know now? Your literature review, what it's going to help you understand and support what you want to do. You must have an intervention. So you're not just here to collect data. So if your idea is, I'm going to see if my students, I'm going to collect test scores from my students' math tests. That's great, but that's not a research study. A research study is you've got data and you've identified there's a potential problem. So you're going to introduce an intervention, and that's the applied research part. So whether that intervention is, I always use the example, reading to students after recess. So my kids come in after recess and we take math, we start math and their scores are low. And I wonder if I read to them, because there's some literature out there I saw that said reading to kids after recess helps calm them down and get them ready for learning. So I'm going to introduce that as an intervention. Now it's going to be very controlled. It's not just, let's wing it and see. A research study is controlled, it's documented, it's supported by evidence. And then you come out and you collect scores again and you say, hey, their scores went up. It's possible it's because of reading after recess. One thing I want to remind you is no research ever proves anything. So even medical research, we find when people stop smoking, their lungs what's the word? Repair themselves. Okay, that doesn't prove that quitting smoking repairs lungs. It's just there's a correlation, and it's going to be the same thing with your study. You're not going to prove that reading to students after recess results in higher test scores, but there's a correlation, and that's what the education community is looking for: is what can we do to boost achievement or to improve connections, emotional connections, or to whatever it is, whatever you're looking for, or that AI makes teachers' jobs easier. Whatever it is, your topic, what you've been thinking about all along, like, I would like to see if. That's what you're going to do in this course. And each week of this course is step, step, step. So you're going to do a few sections of your, what we call a proposal. The proposal is written in future tense because you're going to do something. Now, your literature review is going to be written in past tense because when you review research findings or writings, it's written in past tense. But otherwise, everything is what you are planning to do in your study. It can always be revamped. So, if you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do, that's okay. That's why you're in this class. So if you say, I'm going to implement this intervention, and then you're like, oh, you know what, that's not going to work because I don't have time, or whatever it is, okay, well, just rewrite your proposal. It's not that big a deal. Nothing until 5910. That's when you got to have your idea and your design solidified because you don't have time to change things. Okay, so I love this class. This is actually my favorite class to teach, other than 5010, which is the very beginning, if you can remember that far back. I love to teach that as well because it's brand new students trying to get a master's degree. So welcome. The other thing I want to alert you, I am a stickler for APA formatting. To have formatting that's not in line with the rules of APA is nonsensical to me because you just have to look up the rule and apply it. And it having invalid formatting really detracts from your credibility, and you won't get published anyway. So I'm here to help with APA formatting. I provide a ton of individualized guidance that I expect you to implement and to take advantage of. But I'm not going to pass a paper that has more than 5 APA errors. So just know that at the very end, when you've been getting all this tailored and individualized feedback, if you don't make those APA corrections as you go, you're not going to pass this class. Okay? Not a threat, I don't want you to get surprised at the end. I like to hold Teams meetings, generally every other Saturday morning. Sometimes it's going to be 3 weeks, so I may have, 1 or 2 in a row, something like that, week to week. But I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in this class, particularly around the statistical analysis that you're going to be asked to do in 5910. So I tried to provide as much guidance as I can. But if you can't make those meetings, that's okay. I video them or I record them. Of course, I video them, right? They're video. But anyway, I record them and then I publish them to YouTube. So, if you can be there, that's good because then you can ask your questions. But, if it doesn't work out for you to attend in person, that's no problem. The meeting's going to be recorded. All right. So I think that's all I have. I just ask for your best product, your best effort. devote yourself. I know how busy teachers are. I taught for 11 years in the upper elementary and middle school grades. So I know how busy you are. I have a day job. I'm active duty military for the United States Army. So we're all busy, right? But you've got to devote yourself to this term and next, because it is the capstone, and it's the assignment that's going to get out there and that you're going to hang your degree on based on what you produce in this class and the next. So make it your best. If you're not mentally present, if something's going on in your life that's distracting you from your studies, take off this term. Don't try to plow through when you've got mom dying. I've been there, okay? Or, kid problems, or job issues, medical problems, whatever it is. If you can't devote yourself, take off a term, come back. It's no big deal to be set back 8 or 10 weeks. I know you want to graduate and be done, but do yourself a favor and be able to be 100% present. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for listening. And remember that I'm always here to help.